Another day, another complete catastrophe over Ubisoft. This is Insider Gaming saying the Ubisoft employee who was suspended for criticizing the company has been fired. And for those that are curious about what this person said and did to get into this position, I found it. Here it is. This is David Michaud-Cromp, who says, so Ubisoft want to bring back 5 days in the office because they, quote, believe in collaboration, ... But come on, we're not completely stupid. We very well know why you want to go back to 5 days in the office. Spoiler alert, it's not about efficiency or collaboration, which, to be fair, that's exactly what I said in my video. It's like whenever a company wants employees to go back to the office and that company is struggling, it's not for efficiency. It's to make people decide on if they want to continue working there or quit on their own. And if they quit on their own, the company doesn't have to pay them out a benefit package or any kind of packages that last all these months. No, they say, okay, you cut ties with us. We don't have to worry about anything for you. He continues, professional update. Ubisoft informed me today of a 3-day unpaid disciplinary suspension effective tomorrow. The measure was presented to me as being related to public comments I expressed regarding the company's return to office policy and based on an alleged breach of the duty of loyalty. I am sharing this information for transparency purposes. I take note of the decision and will make no further comment at this time. This is a level design lead at Ubisoft Montreal. They got a 3-day unpaid suspension for this comment, which, to be honest, it's not even bad. It's just like, hey, I know what they're doing and I'm not cool with it, but it is what it is. Ubisoft is in a worse spot than I thought. He said, for those interested, GameDevelopers.com published a piece that introduces a brief statement from me on broader industry discussions around return to office policies, sharing here for transparency. Again, seems pretty straightforward with nothing really concerning at all there. But here's the update. Ubisoft employee who was suspended for criticizing the company has now been fired. So imagine working in this environment for a company that is completely failing on all fronts. And now you see one of your coworkers get suspended for 3 days without pay. And then just to find out that after that, they get fired anyways. You would feel like you can't even talk. You can't say anything. What a miserable work environment that's got to be. The Ubisoft employee who took to social media for, again, it was a very neutral statement last week to say that he had been placed on a 3-day suspension after comments criticizing the company, had now said he's been terminated by Ubisoft. David Michaud-Cromp, who has worked at Ubisoft for more than 13 years, took to social media last week to announce that his suspension was related to public comments that he expressed regarding the company's return to office policy and based on an alleged breach of the duty of loyalty. Insider Gaming gave Ubisoft the opportunity to comment on our coverage of Michaud-Cromp's suspension, but did not, only acknowledging that the opportunity was given. However, following our coverage, screenshots of Michaud-Cromp's comments in Ubisoft's internal communication channel, Agora, were sent to Insider Gaming, providing greater clarity on why the suspension and now termination may have occurred. Michaud-Cromp criticized Ubisoft's RTO policies, the closing down of studios, and investing in games as a service. Again, same things that I say. Like, what are they doing? Their decisions have been terrible. Keeps running away to bite us in the bollocks, he said. So you have an employee trying to rescue your company saying, stop hitting your head against the wall and doing these things. Nobody wants these games. Instead of listening to him, you suspend him and then fire him. Michaud-Cromp also hit back at the decision to have Vanguard Studios run by now co-CEO Charles Guillemot, who is the son of Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, citing that he's pretty much only got Unagi games on his resume. In his message, he continued to say that the employees who pay the price for successive bad decisions taken by executives who keep swimming in millions of dollars. He concluded that he agrees costs should be trimmed, but that it needs to start at the top because nothing will change otherwise. Based. Frankly, I think everyone at Ubisoft, both internally and externally, is on board with this message, but perhaps it was a little too transparent. According to Ubisoft, you're not allowed to let them know how you feel. Ubisoft has concluded Michaud-Cromp can no longer work at the company and has subsequently decided to terminate his position. Both current and former employees can contact Tom Henderson securely, which I would strongly suggest he's one of the good ones. I do like Tom Henderson when it comes to reporting in the game industry and actually being a good journalist. Tom gets a lot of things right, and I appreciate what he does. Pirate Nation, on top of that situation, because you thought I was done there. Oh no, there's more. Ubisoft Paris workers have threatened a walkout if CEO Yves Guillemot visits the studio, reportedly planned around early February 2026. He is not welcome as long as he continues to mistreat his employees. Employees are urged to stop work, leave desks, and gather outside if he shows up. Oh, it's another day for Ubisoft. Reddit. He is not welcome. Ubisoft Paris developers plan walkout during Yves Guillemot visit. Respawn Index. Developers at Ubisoft Paris and unionized employees are planning a coordinated walkout during a visit from CEO Yves Guillemot after mounting backlash over the company's recent restructuring, cost-cutting decisions, and proposed job cuts. French media reports on the planned protest by Ubisoft Paris workers, claiming that the CEO, Yves Guillemot, will be met with a strike and demonstrations upon his visit to the studio, with some devs outright saying he is not welcome. Now, this is the same Ubisoft just fired a dude for saying, hey, I think that the cuts should start at the top of the company if they want real change to happen here. And I know why they're forcing us to work back in the office, because they want people to quit. He got fired for that. What a complete catastrophe this company is turning into. Like, holy shit. And it does. He's right. It does start at the top. I understand Ubisoft is completely filled to the brim with wokies, woketards, DEI, bridge initiatives, agenda-laden checkbox people. I get all that. Who hired all those people? Oh, the people at the top? Gotcha. It always starts at the top. We got Yves Guillemot pushing forward the feminist mantra, the girls in gaming on the Ubisoft official website, the pride parades. This guy doing everything wokeified that he can possibly do. Anything but actually focusing on a video game. And we got the developers that are working their asses off, and they're the ones getting their jobs cuts. They're the ones that are getting their studios completely removed and shut down because of the decisions by leadership at Ubisoft. And if they dare question them, they get suspended and fired. What kind of environment is that? The labor action builds on a broader unrest following the company's announcement of a major corporate overhaul that aims to reduce costs 200 million euros over the next 2 years. Part of the company's plan also includes a rupture conventional collective, a voluntary mutual termination agreement under the French labor law that could see up to 200 staff members cut at Paris, about 18 to 20% of the workforce. Holy. They got no one to blame but themselves with this. The proposal remains subject to negotiation with unions and regulatory approval. Tensions escalated when Ubisoft execs signed an end to previously negotiated remote work policies requiring more in-office days from employees, a move many at Ubisoft see as disruptive to their work-life balance. Like I've said before too, if you've been working at Ubisoft for the past, 5 years since the pandemic, you've had 2 kids, daycare organized, set up, school schedules, making them breakfast and lunch, getting everything set up. Your wife is needing to go out of the house, so you're the one taking the duties of dealing with bringing the kids to places and stuff like that. And then the company you've worked for the past 5 years that let you work from home and organize your schedule suddenly just says, hey, all that stuff you're doing, yeah, that's not okay anymore. You need to completely uproot your entire life that we've allowed you to do and figure it out. That's not easy to do. That's brutal. Ubisoft's current cost-cutting and office policy changes led to widespread criticism by union leaders who argue that upper management of the company hasn't adequately addressed concerns over job security, compensation, and morale. Ubisoft's Paris walkout coincides with the broader industry climate marked by layoffs, game cancellations, and delays that directly impact job security and morale across the board among developers. And Ubisoft has been at the center of these for some time. Ubisoft leadership is yet to publicly detail how it plans to respond to protests around their CEO's visit. It sounds like this is going to be a complete shit show. If he actually does go through with it and show up there, they're going to just stage an entire walkout and just be shouting at him the whole time. What a mess. What a mess. And let's take a look at Ubisoft stock, by the way. How are they doing over there? Oh, still under $1. And at its lowest point in the month, 6 months, year to date, 1 year, down almost 96% in just 5 years. You wonder how much longer this can go on for. What a catastrophe. Massive oof. And again, Ubisoft has no one to blame but themselves. The decisions by leadership with zero accountability, the DEI mantra, zero accountability. It's always someone else's fault instead of them realizing, damn, we fucked up here with our decisions, going the DEI path, wokeifying these games, injecting LGBTQ plus into everything. Gamers saying, stop doing this to our games. Please stop. We will not buy those. I don't know how much more clear we can make it, but we've been doing that for a very long time now. And they're still not listening. They're blaming everything but themselves. External market factors. Oh, it's just too much competition in the industry. You'll own nothing and be happy. Please purchase Ubisoft Plus and like anything. Selling a quarter of their company of their good games to Tencent. Imagine working at this company for the past 10 years. Your stock value is basically worthless at this point. Your retirement has gone up in flames, and you still go into work every day with a company that will suspend you if you dare say anything negative about it. What a glorious work environment that must be at Ubisoft. A weird part of me kind of feels bad for some of them. But hey, I guess at the end of the day, it's fries in the bag. You get what you deserve, and that's Ubisoft in a nutshell. But I'll leave that there. That's a bigger drop-off than Highguard. Yes, it is. Months ago, journalists said Ubisoft is doing fine. Oh, I also recall to that point, months ago, they were saying Assassin's Creed Shadows was a success. Where'd they get that from? Their source was Ubisoft. And I remember reporting on it at that time saying, so your source is the company that's failing, telling you it's not failing? That's your source? Oh, man. They argued against you when you said Veilguard, and Ubisoft is doing poorly. It is too late for you to say, I told you so. Marathon Bungie is next. I think a lot of their hatred, anger, frustrations with me in particular from the game industry comes from, I think deep down, they know I'm right, and they just don't want to accept that. So they deal with that with just by being angry at me. And I'm like, that's one way to handle it. The other way to handle it is do the opposite of what you're doing. Stop making games as a service. Stop making androgynous looking characters in your games as a service. Stop charging money for your games as a service. I mean, there's so many, like, they're checkbox directed companies. You'd think they'd understand to check those boxes, but thank you for the 5, Sonic.